Alright guys, what up? It's Zetron here. Today I want to make a review on Call of Duty Vanguard, their second week beta. So as you guys know, the Vanguard Alpha dropped about a week ago on PS4 and PS5, and it wasn't that great. Obviously I couldn't play it as I'm an Xbox/PC player, but now that we finally have it on the Xbox Series S/X, I have been able to play it, record clips for it, and finally give this review on it. Now, to get some general stuff out of the way, the game runs at 60 FPS. It seems just fine. I didn't have no FPS dips. Visual fidelity, from what I heard, it was not the best, but from what I've seen, it's actually pretty good. Other than all that preliminary stuff, it's time to get onto the review. This is the Call of Duty Vanguard beta review. First off with the presentation, the intro of this game. The menus are beautiful. I mean, I have this in after like 15 minutes of me not playing. It goes into this menu and you can really see how beautiful it is. When Modern Warfare started with characters walking through a set type of landscape, and Cold War doing the same, I think Vanguard does it the best with its beautiful background right here and its awesome graphics. Now, the menus you're presented with are a carbon copy of Modern Warfare's. There's nothing new to learn. Now, the only different thing about the menus is that there's combat pacing that you can select, but that's nothing totally different. Now that that's over, I want to talk about the graphics, the absolute tippity top strong suit of this game. The graphics in this game are beautiful. For example, this character model right here. He looks photorealistic. It looks beautiful. The background, as I said before, also looks very beautiful. Lighting looks pretty decent. In some maps, for example, like Hotel Royale, lighting looks a bit off. You have all these lights across the ceiling and stuff, but it looks dim, it looks dark and grim. It looks kind of muddy. It doesn't look as beautiful as you would expect it to be. Voodoo is a great example of this. The map looks really dreadful. It seems like it has no color. It makes 2019's Modern Warfare look like a Treyarch game with how much less color it has in Modern Warfare as a whole. Eagle's Nest doesn't do the game any justice either, with its samey drab colors as Voodoo, although it doesn't look completely the same. It does have better color variation, but not enough to really distinguish it from other maps. Lighting in this game looks pretty decent. It doesn't look horrible, and other than the godforsaken sun, the lighting looks pretty good. Everything seems to reflect pretty good. Screen space reflections on, say, like optical sites like that, I know it's a beta. They don't work realistically like they do in Modern Warfare, but that will probably be changed by the time the game actually releases. Now, the sounds in this game are, they're horrible. It's not even funny. Now, I don't know how this game's development went, but these sounds are definitely not up to par with any of the games that we have that are being released right now. All the guns sound wimpy. They do not sound punchy or bassy like the guns of Modern Warfare, Rainbow Six, or any other FPS game for that matter. This sounds like I'm shooting a literal pea shooter. It sounds like I'm shooting Nerf guns every single time I pull the trigger on these guns. The only gun that sounds kind of scary is the MG42, and that gun isn't even that scary sounding. All the explosion sound effects don't even sound that good either. They sound wimpy themselves. These guns, they recoil back and look scary when they shoot, but then you hear their sound, you're like, am I supposed to be scared of this? Now, I already know that Sledgehammer has addressed that these are sound issues and stuff, but I refuse to believe that every single gun, every single explosion, everything is sounding like this, and it's just some sound bugs. Now, I know there's also the footstep audio. I think it's pretty good. With Modern Warfare, footstep audio was just way too loud, and Cold War I feel like it was a tad bit too quiet. I feel like Sledgehammer found that sweet spot finally, and that is just beautiful. Now, there's also a bunch of sound effects in this beta that are reused from Modern Warfare, as I can tell. As a lot of infected Modern Warfare players would know, when there's one more player in infected, there's a sound effect that plays when he gets pinged on the map. That same sound effect plays for whatever reason in this game. I'm not sure what triggers it, but I have heard it once before. Now, let's talk about the gunplay. The gunplay in this game actually feels really solid. I like how the Thompson feels, especially with how much you can change it. You can take the Thompson from, I believe, 900 rounds per minute and make it 1,000 rounds per minute. Or if you really wanted to, if you upgraded the MG42 enough, you can make that gun into a crazy Hitler's buzzsaw. Gun reloads look pretty good. How they recoil back, they look scary. When they destroy stuff, they look so destructive, and I just love the gunplay in this game. It's better gunplay than Modern Warfare, if you ask me. Every gun feels somewhat unique in its own regard. You have guns like the Itra Burst, which is a 4-round burst rifle. There's the STG-44, which is kind of overpowered as always. Thompson, which is a slower base to SMG. There's the MP40, which is a faster base to SMG. There's the Kar 98K and the 3-line rifle, which are kind of similar, with the Kar 98K being able to scope in faster. There's a whole slew of a bunch of other guns in this game, and there's going to be at least 40 at launch, I believe, which is going to be great. And with this game hopefully being the biggest for post-release content ever, we're gonna have a whole bunch of guns to play around with. That is the Warzone playground. Mounting makes a return for Modern Warfare with a slight upgrade, making it so you're able to move side to side when you're mounted. There's also the option to blind fire in this game now. Blind firing is honestly not as overpowered as people thought it was going to be. Mounting, though, on the other hand, you could get away with some pretty cheap stuff.
Coming in. Marking hostile locations. Losing objective Bacon.
Now let's talk about the maps. The maps in this game are pretty alright other than Red Star. Voodoo is a tried and true 3-lane map design. The basic premise of it is that, I'm guessing, it's the Allies versus the Axis, and you have a shipwreck right in the middle, a bunker on the left side, you got a cell tower and a regular old sniper tower on either side of the map that overlook each other. Voodoo is great for long to medium range fights, and SMGs don't really dominate on this map, not unless they're very accurate. Instead of having a lot of destruction like the other maps have, Voodoo has more dynamic elements like a moving platform. Red Star, on the other hand, is hands down one of the worst maps I've ever played, and that says a lot. 2019 we had Piccadilly. 2020 we had Cartel in Cold War, but Red Star is horrible. This map makes it so you get spawn trapped so easy in one corner of the map. And then when you're not spawn trapped in one corner of the map, if you go anywhere near the middle of the map, you're going to get sniped by some third-story camper. Indoor battles ain't any better either. You either never find someone or they always have to jump on you because they're always sitting in a corner. This map does not like any playstyle except for the camping playstyle. And that's not a bad thing. I could deal with a map that has a camping playstyle, but not if it's wholly centered around that and that only. And this map doesn't even have all that much destruction like all the other maps, which makes it by far one of the worst maps I've ever played. I know this is just the beta. I know I really shouldn't be making these assumptions, predictions, or whatever, but this map is horrible. It makes me want to play Piccadilly again. It makes Piccadilly look like a 10 out of 10 map. This map is not good. It's not fun. I think they need to rework it, something. Change the boundaries for different combat pacings, maybe that would work even. But this map is not fun. Hotel Royale is actually not that bad of a map. It has beautiful destruction. It makes Battlefield 3 and 4's micro destruction and Rainbow Six Siege's destruction look like kiddie play. You have 3 lanes. You have a long corridor on the far right or far left, depending where you spawn. A bar with 2 windows on opposite sides in the middle. Everything being destructible in these bars and corridors. And then on the left, you have a nice open balcony, again with long sight lines, making it great for players who just want to sit back, relax, and laser down one long corridor. It is a beautifully crafted map in my opinion. You got 2 skylights in the roof that you could drop in from. For me forgetting to mention, you could go over on the roof or run above all the people down below. It's a very fun map to play on. The destruction plays into it beautifully and really makes it feel like you're doing something, especially if you have an LMG and you just go around spraying and praying. It makes everything look so destructive and chaotic. Eagle's Nest is the cream of the crop of this beta, at least when it comes to maps. You want to go on the left, you got long sight lines with sniper battles and all the above. You want to go on the right, go take your flanking route with your SMG. If you want to go in the middle and have some close quarters, destructive and chaotic fights, you go have that. This map is by far the best in the beta. I don't care what anyone says. Destruction in the middle is beautiful. You have a flank or a lane for every single type of play style. You can easily use every single kill streak you want on this map just fine. Every play style is complemented on this map and it really makes for a fun experience. This map is by far the best in the whole beta. And hopefully the more I play it, the more I fall in love with it. I won't say this map is going to be best Call of Duty map of all time. I won't even say it would get top 50. But as a map that we're getting now in this day and age with all these frankly kind of bad maps that we've been having recently for the past 2 years, this map is really fun. Now, I want to move on to movement. This is going to be kind of short, but the movement is quite literally the same as Modern Warfare. The jumping, the mantling, the tactical sprint, the sliding. The only thing that's really changed is that drop shotting now makes you go out of aim and back into aim. Other than that, it's almost a carbon copy. And that's not a bad thing. The movement in Modern Warfare was very smooth, it was very nice, and it's really nice in this game too. And I'm happy they brought it back.
Hostile recon in the air. Spies in the sky.
Now, there are some gripes with movement I have. For example, there is suppression in the game. And if somebody shoots around you, you end up slowing down. Somebody at Sledgehammer honestly sat down and thought this is a good idea. This is a good idea in a game like Battlefield, or any type of game that isn't Call of Duty, where it's more realistic. And Call of Duty, where you have playstyles like run and gun playstyles, where you have people speeding, like gosh dang Octane from Apex Legends, they're not gonna like it when someone misses their shots and you get nerfed for it. It's stupid. It's a horrible feeling, and I believe it should be taken out. Now, people may say, oh well, it makes the game realistic. Call of Duty at its core isn't really a realistic game. Let's be honest. The only thing realistic about Call of Duty is its campaign. Then you got zombies, if you don't know why that isn't realistic. And you got the multiplayer, where you have soldiers with, say, 20 to 40 pounds of weight on them, you know, gear, all that stuff, running around at the speed of light. So don't come at me if that really isn't bullshit. Now, my point still stands. If you're missing your shots on someone, that someone shouldn't have to be nerfed because you're at that point. It's as simple as that.
Hostile recon in the air. Spies in the sky.
Now, there are some bugs and glitches in this beta, sadly. For example, for some reason, there is various visual glitches. For example, in Eagle's Nest, if you go to certain parts of the map, sometimes you will get a green type of glitchy type screen bug, and it will stay there until you move out of that area. In other cases, the guide missile, or whatever it's called in this game, shows the cruise missile HUD from Modern Warfare. Now, my final thoughts on this game is that I think this game has a lot of potential. If Sledgehammer plays their cards right, if they learn from their mistakes of World War II and Advanced Warfare, they can really make a COD game that I think a lot of people want. People are trying to hate on this game because it's World War II, and I'm not gonna lie, I was on that bandwagon. I really want MW2, but I'm fine with a World War II game that can actually play really good. That was my review on Call of Duty Vanguard beta. I will maybe make a full-on review for when the game actually releases, but we'll never know. I will see you guys later.
Double kill.